Welcome back to my channel. This is Tega. In this video today, I'll be showing you how to draft a notched collar blazer. So let's get started. So I'm going to be using this bit as the center back for the back panel of the jacket. So before I continue drafting the pattern, I want to make a line here. This will serve as the start line. So here we have the start line. So I'll be making use of this ruler in centimeters instead of inches because I'm using an A4 paper. So this line could serve as the shoulder line as well, start line or shoulder line. So I'm gonna start by taking the bust line measurement. So from this shoulder line, you want to take your bust line measurement. So I'm gonna be taking 10.5. Don't forget I said centimeters because of the A4 paper. So you're gonna be taking 10 inches, not 10 centimeters when you're drafting. If your shoulder to bust is 10 inches or 10.5, you need to take that. So I'm gonna be taking here 10.5. This is 10.5, so this is the shoulder to bust line measurement. I'm gonna roll a line across. So I'm gonna do a shoulder to waistline measurement, which is 16 inches. If yours is 17, you can mark that as well. So I'm gonna draw a line. Then the next one will be your shoulder to hip line measurement. So this is 24. And for this jacket, if you want it longer, you can make it longer, than 24. If you want it a bit longer, up to like 30, you can. So it's up to you how long you want your jacket to be. So this is the hip line. Or you can ignore the hip line and just go for the length of the jacket. So most of the time is by the hip line or slightly below the hip line. So I'll just leave it at 24 inches. So this is 24 inches and I'm gonna roll my line. And this also serves as the total length of the blazer we are making. Right. So you wanna go up from the bust line up by 2 inches. This will give you your chest line measurement. So what I'll do, don't forget we're drafting the back pattern. So this is the chest line, this is the bust line, this is the waistline, and this, I can say this is the hip line or the length of the blazer. The length of the blazer is the same. Next, you want to take your shoulder measurement. So your shoulder measurement divided by 2, whatever it gives you, make the marking. So the shoulder I'm using is 16 inches. 16 inches divided by 2 is 8. Can you see? So you need to mark the 8 inches. Grab your ruler and rule all the way to the chest line. Right? You should have something like this. So for the neckline of the back panel, what I'm doing here is to come in here by 3 inches. So the neck width here is 3 inches and the neck depth is 2 inches. Yeah? So you need to connect it with a curve. So now you want to add your shoulder slope. For your shoulder slope, you come down by 1 inch, right? And you connect it to your neckline. So that's what you should have. So on the chest line, guys, you want to divide your bust line measurement by 4. Yeah, whatever it gives you, make the marking, right? The bust line I'm using here is 40 divided by 4 is 10. Make the marking, then connect this like this. Use your curved ruler and connect. Right, now you want to divide your nipple by nipple measurement on the bust line, by 2, then make the marking. So the nipple to nipple here is 8 inches, divided by 2 is 4 inches. So you want to make the marking on the bust line, right, on the waistline, and the total length of your blazer or your hip line, yeah, whatever, and roll a line. That will include your chest line as well, yeah. And I'm gonna roll a line, yeah. So now this is a straight line that connects the chest line all the way to the total length of the blazer or the hip line. So what you need to do is to come to your hip line and take half an inch here, then half an inch on the other side. Then you start making your connections. So you want to connect from this waistline up to your chest line like this, right? And from that point as well all the way to the hip line or the total length of your blazer. Repeat the same thing for the other side. So I want to come here, guys, to the chest line, and I'm gonna add my sewing allowance, which is 1 inch, right? That's 1 inch there. Then I'll come over to my waistline, divide my waistline by 4. So that's 9 inches here for the waist measurement. And what you need to do, you divide your waist measurement by 4, make the marking, add your 1 inch sewing allowance. At the same time, the 1 inch here as well, you're gonna add it here, right? There's a reason for that. So on the waistline, your waist measurement divided by 4, make the marking, the 1 inch sewing allowance, and the 1 inch dart allowance, just put it here. We're gonna still use it in the hand, so you would understand that. The same goes for the hip line, your hip line measurement, right? Here, make the marking, then you add your sewing allowance, and you connect all the straight together. So the shape of your top depends on your real shape, right? Some people, when connecting the lines, they would have the waistline a bit dipped in like that. But it depends on your shape. Some people's bust are almost the same measurement as their waistline. So you need to take note of this. This isn't really straight, as you can see. And don't forget, we're still gonna take the dart. So it will give this top more shape than this. With this back panel, we're not going to be making use of a zip or button, whatever, at the back. So the only thing we will do right now is to come in here on the waistline. I want you to take note of this because our back isn't straight. Our back is not straight. So we need to come in here by the 1 inch, right? And you're gonna give it a bit of a shape. So basically we've borrowed the 1 inch we took for the dart. Connect it like that and connect this bit as well. All the way up because our back isn't straight, guys. And make this place a bit curvy. It's not sharp, so make it a bit curvy like that. And this place too, take note, curve on both sides. Next, you want to come on the side of the blazer over here and come up by 1 inch. If you want a 1.5, it's up to you. So you want to come in 1 inch and just use your curve ruler to curve it out like that. So the side of your blazer is not as sharp. Now you want to grab your scissors and cut. So guys, here is a back panel, as you can see. And that's the back of it that is a bit dipped in, and I'll just scribble it down. This is our back. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut the front panel. Now I've grabbed a fresh paper. So you want to leave a bit of allowance before you draft your front panel. Over here you need at least 5. On the side you can decide to go for 5 or 6. Some can go for 4 depending on how much of lapel you want on your blazer. So I'm gonna be taking 5 here, right? And on the side I'll be leaving 5 inch. Yeah, 5 and 5. So I'm gonna be going for 5 and 5. So what I'll do, I'll mark here like this. Just watch what I'm doing. And you see what I've done. I've got allowance up there and I've got allowance here. So 5 inches there, 5 inches there to accommodate all the measurements I'll be making on the blazer. So what I'm gonna do is exactly what I did before with the back panel. I'll draft out all my big zip bodies and we'll take it from there. Don't forget your shoulder to bust, your shoulder to waist, your shoulder to hip. I'm gonna be doing exactly the same thing here. Don't forget it includes the chest line as well. Two inches up from the bust. I'm gonna draw my line. There you go. So for the neckline here, also I'm going in by 3 inches. Yeah, I want you to take note of that, 3 inches, and I'm gonna go down here by 3 inches. So this is 3 by 3 instead of the 3 by 2 on the back. So I'm gonna do a curve. Once I draw my neckline, I'm gonna come, don't forget my shoulder measurement as well, 8 inches, connect a line to the chest line like that, connect my shoulder slope. Can you see that, guys? Almost the same as the back panel. Now I'm going to find the midpoint of my armhole here. I'm going to use my tape for this. I'm going to use the tape for accuracy. So see, this is it, 7.5. So I'm going to fold my tape roll 7.5 like that. And wherever it is, guys, I'll make my marking. That's the midpoint. I'm gonna come in by 1/2 inch. You can come in by 3/4, but I've come in by 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna draw out my armhole. So don't forget your bust line was divided by 4 here, right? And the connection is gonna be made. So I've gone ahead and drafted my armhole from this point to that 1/2 inch and connected it to the bust, quarter of my bust that I've marked here. So you need to do the same as well for yours. So for the front panel dart, you're not gonna start from the chest line, you're gonna start from the bust line. This is the chest line, waistline, hip line, or length of the blazer. So what I'll do is to half of my nipple to nipple measurement, do the same thing I did on the back panel, right, and connect the line together, right? So you want to do the same thing for yours. You want to come down from the bust by 1 inch, make the marking, come out here by the 1/2 for your dart, and connect all the dots together like I'm doing here. So guys, I want to add all the measurements I had on my back panel, my hip line divided by 4, make the marking plus sewing allowance, the same thing on my waistline and also on my bust line. So I'm just connecting all the markings together, exactly what we did on the back panel. Yeah, extend this armhole here because I've added my sewing allowance. So we need 1 inch allowance for our button. So we need to come out here by 1 inch. So you want to make that marking all the way down here. All the way down 1 inch. You're gonna have it. It's like extending this neck here by 1 inch. You come out and you roll a line. Right, you roll that line and you connect it, and here as well, connect it like that. You want to determine where you want your breaking point to be on your blazer. You know where you want your collar to end. Sometimes they collar my hand above the waistline, but today in this tutorial I'll be using, I'll be handing that collar on the waistline. So what I'll do, I'm gonna connect from here. I'm gonna draw a line from the waistline and connect it to the neck. So it's gonna end here. The collar is gonna end at that point. So you wanna grab your ruler and connect that to this. So you can see that like that. So I'm going to determine how wide I want my lapel to be. You can come out here by 2 inches or 1 inch. So I'm going to be coming out by 1.5. I want 1.5, 1.5 inch out right there. That's it. So this is like extended now again from the 1 inch we had before. This is additional 1.5. So I'm going to connect it to the breaking point there, which is where the collar ends, right? So this is like drafting a new collar now. So this line, guys, is now irrelevant. So this line is irrelevant now because now we have a new collar which runs from here to there and all the way down there. At this stage now, you want to grab your back panel, right, and measure what you have on your neckline here, right? You're going to give it, I'm going to use my centimeters before I forget, but you'll be taking yours in inches, don't forget. You want to measure what you've got here, right? So I've seen what I have here. Make sure you measure accurately. Right. Okay. So whatever you have there, you're going to come here and add it. Right. Whatever you have, you come here and you add it. So I'm just going to add it like this in a slant way, not a straight way, to blend in with this line. So you're going to go and you want to add whatever and grab your ruler and rule that line like an extension of your, see? So I'm going to remark that, something about this bit. Want to connect it. So that's it. So from here, you want to come out by 1/2 inch. I think I already have that marking. Yeah, 1/2 inch. And the reason for this, I already have that marking there. So, and the reason for this is to make sure our collar sits well. When stitching, the collar sits well round the neck. So you connect it back here to the collar here. You blend it in back. So you have that line now. You scribble out this again. It's no more in use. This is the new line. I hope you can see this. Explain this bit, the same measurement you had here that you added here, guys. Don't forget the initial measurement before you added 1/2 inch. That same measurement, you're gonna take it again from here, right? The same measurement and make a marking. As you can see, it's not straight, it's slant. So what I'll do, grab my ruler and connect it. Now next, what we're gonna do is to come up here by 1/2 inch or 1 inch. The 1/2 inch or 1 inch we're taking now is for the notch. Coming up 1/2 inch or 1 inch, right from here. So I'm gonna grab my ruler and connect it here. Can you see that's the open notch? And connect this to this with a curved ruler. So guys, once you've drafted that collar, our pattern is ready to cut. So you want to go like this. Make sure you don't cut the wrong bit. I'll be careful with my cotton. To take note of how I cut this bit. So like this. Out. So it's in like this. I'll cut it from the shoulder. Like that. And don't forget, this is the nail line. Don't go and cut the whole line. Can you see? So what you need to do at this stage is to cut out. Can you see? I want you to take note. You cut this out completely and give the front neckline its original shape again. Can you see? But with extensions, the original shape plus extension. And this is how the collar will sit. Can you see? So the collar of your blazer will be up to the waistline. Yeah. So this is what you would have, right? And this is round the neck. Another thing you might consider adding to your blazer is pocket, front pocket. But in this tutorial, I'm not going to show you how to add that. These are all the patterns you need for your blazer. That's the back panel, the front panel, and of course, the rest of the collar. For the sleeve, you want to watch my tutorial on how to make a basic sleeve. I'll be leaving the link down below. So make sure you watch that to complete the process of making this blazer. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this will help you in making your own. Please kindly subscribe, leave me a like and comment. I'll appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then, look after yourself and bye for now.